So let's see here. We'll go ahead and get started. We're about 5 minutes past the hour, so we'll go ahead and get started. I'm Charlie Peterson with Peer Executive Groups. I think I know most of you guys on the call today, but we're a company that puts business owners in the room together to share best practices with each other. And then I've got Marshall McCormick from Goodshuffle and Dustin from Quipli with us here on the call today. Marshall, why don't you go ahead and introduce yourself and tell these guys a little bit about you?
Yeah, so I'm Marshall. As mentioned, I live in St. Augustine, Florida, but I've been with Good Shuffle going on 2 years now. And this is actually my fifth year selling software to small businesses just like this. So I've had the lens to sell into different industries. And when I was chatting with Charlie yesterday, I just really got sucked into the rental industry, especially event rentals. It's fun to see how the industry keeps growing. It used to just be weddings were a big event, but now it's baby showers, first birthday parties are these huge, extravagant events that have a lot of
Right.
logistics going into them. It's really fun to see how the industry is evolving. And yeah, I'm excited to chat with you both on how to find the right software for you and your business.
Cool. Yeah. Dustin, how about you? How long have you been at Quipli and what's your role with Quipli?
Yeah. So I've been at Quipli for a little over 3 years now. Like I'm an account executive, so new sales
Mhm.
primarily what I'm dealing with.
Okay.
I've not sold software before, so I previously worked at an equipment rental company
There you
down,
go.
down here in Florida called the Synergy Equipment was the name. Now they're called OpenFX Synergy. They've grown quite a bit, but I started as an inside sales coordinator for a year and then was outside territory rep for 6 years before I saw Quipli and I was like, man, I want to be a part of that.
Nice.
And I've even, while I worked there, even went through a software change. The company actually changed software. So I know some of the battles that you face with that. So,
Right? Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. That's interesting. I love to hear that because I have a similar background. I came from a family event rental and equipment rental business. And I go back to the days of green screens and function keys, baby. So like we've come a long way from that. And we went through a similar software change at one point. And so I've been through it and it'll be good to talk through this. So the idea of the webinar today is just to give you guys a little bit of a roadmap, just a little bit of a shopping list, things you should be paying attention to as you're walking the show floor. And maybe you haven't decided if it's time to switch or any of that kind of thing. So that'll be the layout for today. Feel free to post any questions and I think we're going to have a chat or a Q&A running here that you guys will be able to throw up any questions on that we'll run through and that kind of a thing. Dustin, I'll put this one out there to you first. What do you see when you're interacting with a new customer or a prospect customer? What's the thing that they're like, oh man, I finally got to make the switch. I finally got to do this. I've been putting it off too long. What's the thing that like tips them over to really decide that they need to shop for new software?
Yeah. I think the most common thing that we start to hear from an umbrella view is growth. Companies continue to grow and they are either outgrowing their processes, outgrowing their software, or both.
Sure.
What's pretty common, there's kind of two buckets underneath that. There's the customers that are on a software and it either can't handle what they're trying to do anymore, or maybe just the workflows aren't matching where they're trying to take their business, or
Yeah.
they're not on a software yet. They're still using maybe just QuickBooks for billing and Excel for tracking some inventory, but they're getting to a tipping point where their employees are getting frustrated. They're losing deals and transactions. And there's just notes all over a screen somewhere, right?
Yeah.
So I think that's really where we hear the most common of, okay, we've got to make a change and we've got to do something. And that's where a lot of people reach out.
Sure. Marshall, what about you on the event side? It can be a little bit different. Some of the kind of barriers to entry on the event side are a little bit lower than on the equipment side. So you might see people that are maybe they're starting out sooner, or maybe their business is a lot older when they're getting ready to switch software. What do you see on the event side for people deciding to move forward on software?
Yeah, so we do see the same growth kind of story that Dustin is talking about, where someone's maybe going from 50 to 150 events and Excel just isn't cutting it anymore.
Yeah.
But the one that I've seen popping up more and more lately is just overbooking and double booking their items.
Oh,
And
sure. Yeah.
the amount of times that people have to sub rent from their competitors in order to make that event work really frustrates them. And so by the third or fourth time that they've double booked that tent, they're like, all right, I'm done doing this. I need a
Right.
system that is going to track everything for me. And so that's the main thing. The last one is really just like some people think it's only worth it if you spend the money to save time. If you're not
Sure.
going to, you have to think of that. Are you wanting to be spending your time doing all of these, piecing together different softwares, different Excel sheets, and spending a bunch of time there? Or do you want to spend a little bit of money and kind of get rid of that headache and all of the hoops that you're jumping through on the back?
Sure. Yeah. At some point it gets to the point of you got to spend some money to save money thing, right? You get to that as well. So when somebody's getting ready to go to, let's say they're going to the ARA show, or maybe they've got a local event where there's going to be some software vendors that they can talk to. Marshall, what do you see as some of the homework or some of the things that they should be organizing their thoughts around when they're deciding to start shopping?
Yeah. So I have 3 pieces of advice for like your pre-demo homework. And that's the first one is just write down specifically what you want, not just like something generic. So an example would be like, I need real-time availability when my salesperson's on the phone, not just I need inventory management. The second one is to write down a list of these are my must-haves and these are my nice-to-haves. A lot
Sure.
of the times when you're at these shows, people are going to be showing off their nice to haves because that's the cool, flashy feature that gets you to walk into the booth. But if
Yeah.
you go and you make your purchasing decision on someone having all the nice to haves and the must haves aren't there, you're going to be kicking yourself in the butt in a few months because you're really going to be missing what took you there in the first place. And just going in and making a prepared decision. Prepared, when you're prepared, you're going to be able to know within a few days if that system works for you or not. If you go in unprepared, we're going to be seeing you in the same webinar a year from now as you're looking to make another software switch, because it's going to be that you didn't do the work up front. And we're going to be helping you make that decision again in 12 to 18 months when the nice to haves broke on your end.
Yeah. Dustin, for you, what do you see? Maybe give an example maybe of somebody that, really didn't really have their ducks in a row, and how you've been able to help them down that path and like figure out without being like crazy salesy and pushy about it. Like, how do you navigate that nice to have versus need to have kind of conversation?
Yeah. The specific example would be coming to the demo prepared of what issue are you trying to solve in your business, like specifically. You can come to a demo and a sales rep can give a nice walkthrough of the program. And again, they'll show all the nice to have. But I
Sure.
think that you come in prepared with here's some problems I'm having, or here's where I am today, here's where I'm trying to get to tomorrow.
Yeah.
That helps both parties decide whether this is going to be a fit and if we can help you get there or not. Just coming prepared to these meetings and shows, right? Why are you switching? What are you solving for? I don't think to Marshall's point, I don't think you need like a checklist of 150 things and then you have to check off every single one that your vendor has to have it, because that's going to set you up probably for failure. But I do think that you can have a list and then you be flexible to weigh the benefits and advantages of all the different vendors of who fits your company the best from there.
Sure. Yeah. Yeah. So I'll give you guys this. I'm tweaking this question a little bit, but I want to ask each of you guys with a Marshall with Goodshuffle Pro. What's your thing that's you're really nice to have with Goodshuffle that maybe somebody else out there that's doing software doesn't have? And then Dustin, I'll ask you the same thing.
Yeah, I think that Goodshuffle is really building out the in-depth back end. So we're now able to handle everything when it comes to dispatching your trucks, barcoding your inventory, tracking everything on that front. And for a lot of the software, that is like a nice to have and a cherry on top. But then going back into the must-haves, like in Goodshuffle, you can go ahead and get all of your nice proposals sent out, your contracts signed, all the payments can be processed through the platform. And so being able to do the things that require you to be a successful business, and then also having the option to grow and build out that in-depth kind of company that you have is really where Goodshuffle excels. So it doesn't matter if you're a mom and pop that's putting up tents for graduation parties on the weekend, or if you're a company with 75 trucks and huge warehouse with a ton of employees. Goodshuffle has the infrastructure to help support both of those companies.
Sure. Yeah. Yeah. And Dustin, how about you? What's Quipli's new, like really nice to have that you guys have going on right now?
Yeah, so it's defined as nice to have today. We released a new product called Quinn, which is it's without going too in depth, it's a revenue growth platform that integrates to our main core Quipli system, but it's designed to help you and your team grow revenue specifically, and it uses buzzword alert a lot of AI agents to go in there and use it. I strongly feel that it's a nice to have today, but in 6 to 12 months, it's actually going to be a must have in order for you guys to stay competitive in the market as it continues to change. But that's what we're super excited about right now.
Nice. So you're telling me that AI is going to do more than just take a picture and make it into a cartoon in 6 months?
Yes.
All right. So we're getting ready to go to the ARA show. We're like not quite 30 days out. Like one of the things I always remember about being in the business was my sales reps were coming around and saying, "Hey, are you going to the show? Here's the deals that we got." Talk a little bit about what how to navigate that pressure. And then also from a software perspective, with that kind of implementation, like timelines and that kind of thing, right? As people are shopping softwares, what are they looking at as far as like show specials and like, how do they navigate those and do they matter when they're looking at something like this that, is going to be a long-term purchase? And Dustin, I'll come to you first on that one.
Yeah, I think show specials are an interesting thing, right? Because if you're a company that doesn't have like your pricing published online at all, there's no real way to validate a show special at all.
Fair enough.
Like you think Prime Day on Amazon, but it's like there's 10% of them are good deals, and then the other 90% are just marked up prices that are discounted 50%.
Discounted back. Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm not saying everyone does it. I'm just saying that's something to be aware of. So
Sure.
I think it definitely helps to deal with vendors that have their pricing publicly listed, because then it gives you, if there already show incentives or discounts, it gives you something
Sure.
to base it off of.
Yeah.
But at
Yeah.
the end of the day, I'd say incentives are great to take advantage if it's the right fit for you. But it's going to be more expensive to your business to pick the wrong software because of a slightly discounted show incentive, then they'd have to switch, than it would be to
Yeah.
just pick the right company to begin with.
Yeah. Yeah. That makes sense. Marshall, how about you?
Yeah, I'm very similar. Like the one thing that comes to mind is like, is saving 10% on something like right now worth it by rushing the wrong choice?
Yeah.
It's when we see like Toyotathon, a commercial that happens every year, and they're like, this is the best pricing, you'll never see this again. But that same commercial pops up every year. Like, at what point is it actually the best pricing that you'll never see again? I think that
Yeah.
it's, and a lot of the times, like what I would do is just ask the rep, ask them like, is this genuinely better than what I'm going to see next month?
Yeah.
Most reps are going to shoot you straight and be like, you know
Yeah.
what, this is pretty similar to our best deal, or similar to what Dustin said. Like if our pricing is on the website, you can go and calculate whatever pricing you want. Like my job is not to find some hidden magical deal for you. Like I want to find the right software for you, because that mystical deal that will never happen again is not really true.
Sure.
Like, the better question that I think you should ask is, if I sign right now with all this pressure and it's not the right fit for me in 60 days, like what are my options? Because if someone is looking to like lock you in, then that's like a little bit of red flags are popping up.
Sure. Yeah. Yeah. So give me the one question people should be asking to separate out the different softwares and maybe trying to help them make a decision.
For me, it is support unlimited, and what does my support look like? I think that is the number one thing for me, is making sure that you are supported. Our view at Goodshuffle is, yes, we don't charge any extra for support. We're looking to help you. If we give you a software and it doesn't help your business transform, then we're failing you.
Yeah.
So that's always my number one, is like, is support unlimited, and what can we do to help on that front?
Yeah. Yeah. And I think a lot of I feel like over the course of the last 2 years, there's definitely been a little bit of a shift in software, and that support is a huge pain point that we hear our members talking about with any kind of software platform. Dustin, I'm going to bring this next one to you. I've got, okay, let's say we walk through we get through all the stuff at the ARA show and we've talked through 8 different software providers and we've got the pricing sheets and all that kind of thing. What do you feel like is the next step for somebody? Maybe if they don't want to make a decision necessarily on the show floor, what's the next thing that you feel like is the most important step to making a decision?
Yeah, I think it's easy to get caught up in all the features and the bells and whistles. You walk around the show, you see all these cool companies, and it's really great to meet the people in person. I think it's a unique advantage.
Right. Yeah.
This is how you can like really get a feel of who you're going to be partnering with. And I think that's invaluable. But the real thing, like the next step to me is, okay, narrow down your list. You don't want to have a list of 7 companies. I think it's just too many, but maybe
Yeah.
2, maybe 3
Sure.
max, right?
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
and from there, I'm always thinking the next question is, what does the onboarding process look like? And what do I do, especially if you're an existing rental company, what do I do with all of my existing data that I've been gathering for the past few years? How do I get that into the system? How does the training look when I get established there? So
Yeah.
I see data migration and more specifically historical data migration coming up more. And
Sure.
that's something that it's a conversation that I think is worth having. And that's how you go from that next step of looking at software. Okay, we signed the dotted line. Like what's happening right now?
What's next? Yeah. So having that kind of laid out implementation plan from the software company that gives you the checklist of the things that you're working through. That makes sense. Yeah, I like that. Let's see. The other thing, but just another question around marketing and you're going to go to the ARA show and they're going to have these big giant booths with 50 people walking around and there's going to be like a secret room that you go back to really sign the paperwork and that kind of thing. What can you guys tell me about how to distinguish a company that does like flashy marketing and that kind of thing to somebody that really has a good product and a good software that's going to serve my business for a number of years? Marshall, I'll start with you.
Yeah, those big booths, they're really cool. They also cost a lot of money for that company.
Yeah.
So would you rather your budget be allocated to updating the platform that's going to like last years for you, or getting a piece of cool swag while you're in Orlando? So it's like that money, where is it coming from? Is it coming from a smaller product budget, or is it an investor that's backing it? We got to have this company grow at all costs.
Yeah.
Or is it that you see someone with a smaller team, you have those personal conversations that Dustin was talking about, talking with them, asking them about what was the last meaningful feature you did? Can I see your release history? Like at Goodshuffle, our engineering team is 5x our sales team because it's important for us to build the platform and have a good product for you. I think that's really important. And then also just, you're going to be at this show. There are probably a ton of users of that platform walking around, maybe around the booth, maybe talking to their CX person. Have that conversation with them. What
Ask
would
the
they,
guys that are on it.
yeah, that talk to the users, ask them, would you choose this again? Do you see them going and looking at other software booths, or are they talking with their current software provider? Like, this industry is one of the most like relationship driven industries that I've ever seen. And so like
Right.
everyone is
100%.
wanting to help out. They want
Yeah.
to help each other. Even if they're in the same market, a lot of the times they're like, hey, I need to help you so that we can grow and build this together. So lean on them. Like the
Yeah.
industry is built for that. That's everyone's nature in the industry.
Yeah.
Have them
And then don't be afraid to ask the software company for a referral.
exactly. Yeah.
Both of you guys, I'm sure, have your list of people that are your champions, right? That's one of the things we talk about in peer executive groups. It's like, those are our people that are drinking the Kool-Aid, and they're the ones that when we have somebody that's on the fence, it's great to have that person come in and help with the deal. Dustin, any other comments on that around what you kind of are looking for in the flashy booth and that kind of thing versus in product?
You guys nailed it, and you basically stole my answer. I was gonna say,
Sorry.
references. References are just such a huge part of the buying process at this point too.
Yeah.
And just specifically help distinguish of, hey, where is money being put? Is it into flashy booths or is it into product development?
Yeah.
That's where, when you ask the reference, you don't just say, "Oh, do you like it? How long have you been on it? How much has the product
Mhm.
changed since you started using it?"
That's a
Like,
good question.
because then you're gonna get a feel for the pay, like, not just what the sales guy's saying, but the true pace of
Sure.
development from the back
Yeah.
end team and what to expect and how fast they're moved.
Yeah.
You can get a lot of information from the references. And again, the ARA show is a perfect time to actually do that in person with them.
Yeah. Yeah. There's a lot. It's so much. I think with COVID, so much of us got used to doing stuff virtually and being over Zoom calls and doing webinars and that kind of thing, right, with each other. But there's just something about being in person with each other that just makes a huge difference from being able to have that in person conversation with everybody. So, last question here. I know that the ARA show this year is later than we're used to, right? It's the first week of March, basically. What's the timeline? A lot of these rental businesses are March, April, May, like it really gets into their busy season. What's any hesitation to try and getting something done before they get into busy season? What's that look like for both of you guys? And Dustin, I'll start with you.
Yeah, this goes back to a previous answer of the onboarding plan, right? So you need to ask about that and see what that structure is going to look like so you can plan around that with your business.
Sure.
I mentioned it before, but it's very true of like rental software is like opposite busy season to rental companies. So when rental companies are at their busiest with dealing with customers, the rental softwares are a lot slower. And there's another advantage that you could try and use. We've done this once or twice, but if you feel like you're getting into the busy season and switching would be too much of a task, there's also a chance that a lot of other companies are thinking that rental software companies are actually slower and maybe have a little bit more resources. So maybe you can negotiate a in-person training with your team on site. You talk about getting away from the virtual and everything
Yeah,
from
right.
COVID, right? So
Yeah.
this is where like just be creative with it, right? If you're saying I can't switch because I get so busy in my peak season, well, could you do it if you had two people there helping your employees write contracts on the new system on the first 2 days? I don't know. There's a lot of ways that you can get creative with it and try and make it work if it's going to be a net positive for your business to do it.
Yeah, yeah. And then the other thing is if you're doing that training and that onboarding in the slow season when it's, oh, wait, we wrote 10 tickets today. I don't remember how to do it versus, oh, we wrote 100. I did it. I can do it in my sleep in 3 days. There's that aspect of it also. Marshall, how about for you guys? Goodshuffle. I know Florida, their season is a little bit different. The further north you work, the seasons are a little bit different on the event side. What do you see as far as like the implementation schedule and implementing in a busy time for the business?
Yeah, I think it honestly depends less on like the calendar timing and more on whether like how much your current system is costing you. So
Okay.
that is the way that like I really look at it. And especially in the event industry, like this does not have to be a flip of the switch. This can be something that we are like slowly migrating and getting everything in to do it on your schedule and on your pace.
I
A
gotcha.
lot of times people in the event rental industry think of how they put on their events, and they are doing an event and at a flip of a switch, the bride walks down the aisle and is having the best day of her life. But
Yeah.
that's not how software has to work. It doesn't have to be that we walk in and flip the switch and everything is complete. Like it can be a process that is spread out, that is, hey, we're focusing on getting the sales team and getting our orders in. And then as things slow down, we start mixing in the back end team. So it can be something that is not a flip of the switch. And it also depends on your team size. If it's busy season and you're a small team, like you can be sending out new quotes within an hour of signing up for Goodshuffle. Now, if you're like a mid-sized team, yeah, it's going to take a couple weeks to get
Sure.
everything and get your workflows and get your training. And then if it's a large team, like, yeah, it's going to take some time to completely make a switch from a new software. But again, it doesn't have to be that we just walk into the office one day and everything is completely different.
The screen's blue instead of green now.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. All right. So we're coming up on our time here. I think that was really great. Any other last words of wisdom from each of you guys? Dustin, I'll let you go first. Any last thoughts for these guys?
No, I just want to say thank you guys for having us. This is awesome, cool little event. If any of you guys attending are going to be at the ARA show, please come say hi. Look up the Quipli booth. Love to meet you guys. And if you're in the market for software, help look and make sure that we're finding you the right solution if you need it. Appreciate you
Right.
having us on.
Yeah. Good. Marshall, how about you?
Yeah. 3 quick things and then I'll let everyone go. Me and Dustin's job here is not to pressure you. Our job is to help you find the right fit, even if it is not us. You can ask Dustin. I can say, we have past leads back and forth that are in the equipment or the event space because our two softwares are built directly for equipment and directly for event. So we are all the time kind of being like, hey, this is not the right fit for you, but Quipli is. So like, we want you to find the right solution for you. Talk to our customers, talk to our competitors' customers, ask them what they like and don't like about the platforms. They will be honest with you. It's not them doing anything. And then software should handle a lot of the tedious aspects of the job so that you can focus on being creative and being strategic. Like, your software needs to be built by people who care about your success, not just hitting their company numbers. And so those are the points that I want everyone to walk away with.
There we go. That's good. I appreciate it. Very good. All right. Thanks, everybody. I appreciate you being here. Again, thanks to Marshall and Dustin. I look forward to seeing you guys in Orlando, even though the two of you are already down in that nice sunny weather. The rest of us will be there here before too long. All right. Thanks, everybody. Appreciate it.
See ya.
Take care.